Hello, welcome to The Healing Artist. I'm your host, Frida, and today I have such an exciting surprise for you guys, and it's going to be a surprise for me too, because this is my new friend from the app Threads that I just joined, Catherine Vincent. And Catherine is a holistic educator, 500-hour certified yoga and meditation teacher, and intuitive energy channeler who weaves ancient wisdom with soulful innovation. Her path bridges somatic healing, medical intuition, and the expressive arts to support a deep transformation. With gifts in clairvoyance, clairsentience, and a deep connection to body-based wisdom, Catherine guides others to release stuck energies, receive fresh frequencies to support soul expression, and recalibrate their structure back to their divine blueprint. She has studied expressive arts and somatics, is currently a graduate student in counseling psychology, and has completed two in-depth mentorships in medical intuition that awakened and refined her healing gifts. Catherine brings a warm, mystical, and playfully grounded lens to healing, offering sessions that gently illuminate what's ready to be released, remembered, and rebirthed. Welcome to The Healing Artist, Catherine. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thanks for the warm welcome.
Oh my goodness, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I've been a holistic educator for 20 years. I'm from Toronto, and last November I just moved to Vietnam.
Oh, so
And
you haven't been in Vietnam that long.
no, only for around 8 months.
Okay.
And my parents and their families were from Saigon for 2 to 3 generations. So it was cool to come to Vietnam and explore their homeland. And it's my first time. So it was just really interesting to explore that aspect of my world, just seeing where my parents came from. It's not really a place I identified with growing up because I was born in Toronto, and that was my life. And my parents had transmitted, I guess, a cultural understanding of food, but not much else. And that's just how it was. So it was just really interesting to see little, I guess, reflections of my parents' personalities in the world
Mm.
around me. So I'm currently in Da Nang, and yeah, I'm still teaching online. And I also have been doing some yoga and meditation teaching, some intuitive readings, and intuitive energy channeling. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Some slow travel, walking
I
my
love
dog.
all of that. What made you want to go there? Like, what was the twist that said, okay, it's time to head out from Toronto just to make that move?
Yeah, so for 20 years I had been really wanting to leave Toronto. I thought it was Vancouver or the West Coast that I'd be heading to. And it's just the rising cost of living, um, in contrast to my choice to be a public servant or just to be a teacher,
Mm.
to serve the public in that way. And there's a certain cap there. Like if you're not willing to be in a position of responsibility, if you're not willing to be a department head, a vice principal or principal at a school, and you're not willing to be in the public sector, then your income is going to be capped. And
Right.
it's not much. And so with the rising cost of living, many believe that you have to make over, let's say, 100,000 Canadian to do okay, to just go out once or twice a week, buy gifts for your friends and manage your expenses. And so, teaching doesn't provide that income unless you're in
Mhm.
the public sector and you've been there for 11 years or you're in that position of responsibility. So I was kind of in a difficult place as a teacher, and I really wanted to get into grad school studies for counseling and expressive arts therapy.
Hmm.
I got into this school, Lesley University in Cambridge. And so I decided to quit my job as a special needs teacher at this Toronto school, which I loved. I just really love being with the kids. Um, but yeah, I left. I thought confidently that I would manifest a job because I had over 20 years of experience as an educator, but I didn't. I didn't get a job for a year from the time I searched January to January. I didn't really get work at all, so I had to put my studies on hold. I went on a leave of absence for 2 years.
Mm.
Anyway, in that time, I moved to Vietnam, and things are more settled now. I manifested more remote work in education. Things are falling into place. I applied to another grad school that's more affordable. And so everything's starting to work out, and I'm going to continue my studies in counseling starting in September, which I'm excited about. And yeah, I've got some teaching gigs lined up. And so I have the freedom to really play with yoga and meditation, with the intuitive energy channeling, from a place of financial safety and abundance.
Yeah, that's really important. I find it so challenging, honestly, to be able to really drop into any of this when we are nervous about our physical needs being met. Like
Yeah,
our
yeah.
bodies. It's like when we're stressed out about how to pay the rent and where the food is coming from, it doesn't, that's not the position to be able to be really dropping within because there's like you're trying to just make your physical form function.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That just makes me think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs with the physical or the physiological needs at the very bottom of the pyramid.
Yes.
So when I moved to Vietnam, I spent 4 days in Ho Chi Minh City, and then we moved to Nha Trang, which is coastal. And it's just that ocean breeze, the ocean itself, the palm trees, the sand, the mountains, all of it together really helped me to just ground and regulate my nervous system. And like, it's just, I thought it was regulated, but there's something
Yeah.
about being in a place that's full of the elements, full of nature, that does something to you. So, yeah, I spend time in the ocean now. I just sit in the ocean because it's very shallow for a while in Da Nang, and I just let the waves just remove the stuck energies and
Yes.
to help me to align with Mother Earth frequencies. And I would say I'm settled and peaceful in a way that I wasn't in Toronto. And I do think I was quite peaceful in Toronto despite all the stuff going on, all the brainwashing and the survival needs.
Yes. When did your spiritual gifts start coming online? Is this something you've always had, or did they
Yeah,
come later in
so
life?
yeah, I've always been an empath. I do believe that you're born with it or you're not. And
Okay.
so just for those who are wondering, well, what's an empath? You can be a highly sensitive person who, you might feel with your senses more acutely. And I think a lot of neuro-spicy people would identify with being highly sensitive. But being an empath is also being highly sensitive. But the difference is that you can understand what it's like to be in another person's shoes. You can understand what it's like to be another person, whether it's physically knowing or feeling in your body, or it could be being on the same wavelength as them mentally, or just feeling their feelings or knowing their feelings, or just feeling what it's like to be in their cells. I think there are a lot of different categories for empaths. So yes, I was an empath, and for me, growing up as a kid, I very strongly felt other people's energies. Like, I perceived them as superheroes. They were
Say
just
more.
looming. Yeah, they would loom large when I gazed upon them. And then in contrast, I always felt like a nothing. I felt like a sort of like a little doormat. That was just sort of my conditioning, my karma to deal with as well, to, love myself and come into my own and explore empowerment. But, that would come later. Like, as a kid, it was just everyone was so big. Everyone had such big energy to me. And so as an empath, if you haven't managed your gifts people are going to seem larger than life, and you're focusing on them, right? And you're taking them in, all of them. And so you're not noticing your needs. You're busy noticing them 100%, and you're noticing you 0% and what you need, what you
Yeah.
want, what you like. So that was my childhood a lot of the time, just like really experiencing people larger than life, understanding them, their thoughts, their feelings, their physicality, everything. And then not really knowing who I am and what I
Mhm.
am and like what my body feels like and what I
Yes.
want. Yeah.
Yes.
But
It's a
the
really
gifts came in
interesting
later.
feeling.
Yes, yes. It's not easy. And the gifts did, like beyond the empath gifts. The other gifts came in later. I think I really needed to release some trauma, like quite a bit of stagnant energy, stuck
Mhm.
energies held in my body and aura. I had to release that over time, over a couple years, before I had, I think, more clarity in my aura.
Mhm.
Because yeah, it's true. Like once you release the stuck energies and you bring in divine energies to fill in the void, your aura does have more clarity. Everything works together better, right? The energy centers, your chakras work together better. So that was coming online, but also I had to learn to be in my body because when you experience like decades of trauma, a
Yes.
lot of
You're
people
out
are
here.
not in their body, they're in their minds or they're in their emotions or both. It just depends. Like everyone's different, right? Some
I
people,
still have to pull myself into my body on a daily basis. Every morning I pull myself in here. I'm like, come on, girl, we're doing this thing.
get
We're
in
doing
there,
this.
get in the
Come on.
vessel.
Because
You
I'll
asked for it.
forget. I'll forget.
Yeah.
I'll go over here and I'm like, nope, come on, feel your feet. Sit in those lower three chakras. Let's
Yeah.
really be
Yeah.
here now.
I'm with you. I'm with you. It's something I have to deal with as well. So, yeah, like, so once I learned to be in my body, and yoga really helped, my
Ooh,
practice of
yeah.
yoga, I did it for like an hour a day. And then I was thinking, oh my gosh, like, I'm really in my body. I'm embodied. And I'm more agile too, and I'm stronger, and I feel more like a dancer, everything, all the things. And I was thinking, okay, let's do it. Let's become a yoga and meditation teacher. So I went for my 200 hours in 2016. And then I started teaching yoga at the special needs school. Um,
Oh,
I,
that's
I did
great.
my advanced yoga teacher training later on. I think I did that around 2022 for 6 months. So I've got my 500 hours now. And then I just continued to teach yoga in the yoga studios. I brought in the energy healing at that point as well. And I was teaching vulnerable populations, racialized seniors at this community center, and also women and trans identifying individuals at this homelessness shelter.
Hmm.
So there was a lot of opportunity there for me to help vulnerable populations. When I got my advanced yoga teacher training, I taught students at University of Toronto, students and faculty, and they're really stressed out. They're definitely like in their left brain 100%. So it was great to work with them as well, and it was such a gift. But yeah, the abilities came online after I got into my body, and then also after I started connecting physical to mental to emotional, and to spiritual. Like I had to really strengthen all those selves.
Hmm.
And also, I would say, have the intention of bringing the gifts online, and also be
Yeah.
around people who are high vibrational, and not just high vibrational, but grounded. Like they have to be quite balanced themselves, right? Like not like lollipops in their auras where, they're super gifted, but they're just in their third eye and crown. They're
Right.
not grounded.
Right.
They're
Those are
not
like all
paying
those
their
cult
bills.
leaders.
Yeah, they're not cleaning their
Yeah.
homes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so by being in the medical intuitive mentorship for two of those sessions, and they were 6 weeks each, so that was like a 12-week deep dive. Um, to be with a group of, let's say, 5 to 10 people in these sessions, and they're all like me, like they're just interested in developing their gifts, deepening and collaborating. There's something about that synergy where
Mm.
you're all intuitives, you're here to serve, and you're here to develop. And so the divine forces come in and they're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's release more.
Yeah.
Let's activate. Let's
Yes,
activate more gifts. So it's really cool. And so I hope that makes sense. It's kind of like
it
a bit of all
does.
that.
Yeah, definitely. I actually, my preference, I do one-on-one sessions, but my preference is working in groups always because
Oh,
this
cool.
person's activated and this person's activated, and then they are activating each other. And I know
That's so cool. Do you
all
do
the,
that regularly?
yeah,
Like group healing
yes.
sessions? I love that.
Yeah, yeah. So I have a program called Return to Self-Love. So I teach a healing school in the mornings. And I love working in that way because the students ping off of each other and like it's like we all start sharing gifts. We can start doing what each other do and stuff. So it's very, very, very cool. And when I was doing all of my trauma healing, working in groups was always better than working one-on-one personally with like just a teacher most of the
Makes
time for
sense.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like one plus one plus one is like infinity. It's so cool what happens. So, yeah, I'm interested in exploring that, collaborations with people and more group healing things in the future.
Do you remember when you first fully felt yourself? Because I know for myself, I always felt other people's energy, and then it was like I had to actually detangle, de-mesh from like all these other people. And it happened during the pandemic. I finally had the power to like go within and be like, hey, mom and dad, I'm not going to talk to you for a month and I'm not going to talk to my sister for 2 months. And it's like, what do I feel like? Because I actually didn't
Yeah.
know. So
Mm-hmm.
do you have a
Sort of,
memory of when you really
kind
dropped
of.
into like, oh, this is what Catherine feels like?
Yes, yes, yeah. Like I had followed a spiritual teacher who was an empath coach. And I was in a relationship that kind of brought out the codependency in myself. Um, I was in my 20s. I was in that relationship for 8 years, and I was used to my partner just being the driver and planning the vacations and things like that. So when that relationship ended, through that spiritual teacher's guidance about empath empowerment and just also like my need to just come into my own as a person, I was really working hard to just become a stronger empath, right? Just to understand you need to be able to like go grocery shopping on your own with confidence to like get into that airport on your own. I know you were with your partner for 8 years and like, it's like having this, you know, other half with you that like to navigate the difficult parts of life. But, you got to be able to like go to the airport by yourself with confidence and just know your likes and dislikes. Like, why don't you know what your interests are? Why don't you know what you want to do right now for fun? So, that's where I got into journaling, making lists, telling myself like 50 things that I liked about myself because I think as an empath, remember like it's all about the other person. That's how much we understand other people. Like we are obsessed with other people. Like we love studying them, we love helping them, we love experiencing them. So, why don't we give that gift to ourselves? Fall in
Mhm.
love with yourself, like know yourself deeply. So like that was the start of the journey. But of course, like it's ongoing, it's a spiral.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm always coming back to that lesson, right?
Yes.
But yeah, that was the beginning. I would say around when I was 29,
Oh,
after my
okay.
breakup in an 8-year relationship.
29 is an excellent age, honey. That is nice and early. Yeah, I don't think I stopped seeing like I was still couldn't see my like what was in front of my nose until well after 28. Yeah.
It was a process. It really was.
Yeah.
Because I think as a spiritual person and as an intuitive, we love playing in these energies, the divine energies. We love checking in with our guides. And I mean, me personally, I love helping people. If people, I have some networks, some energy healing networks I'm a part of. So a lot of the time, people are asking, hey, like I just picked up a demon. Like this happened. I've got this injury. My friend has an injury. My niece has an injury. Like, please. pray, like, can you join in this collaborative healing session? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So like I'm always when I'm online, like I'm checking in with my networks and I'm praying, I'm like sending healing from my guides. So it's just kind of nonstop, and you need to put in some boundaries and do some things that are like not spirituality related. Like when it comes to any topic, you gotta give it a break and live life and integrate and pay your bills, cook for
Very much
yourself.
so. Yes. Well, I love the idea of you sitting in the water because the that just seems like it would just the ocean is like taking away other people's energies. It's reinfusing yours. It's just so beautiful. And also just being in the nature and stuff. That seems like perfect.
And there's this huge statue of Lady Buddha of Kuan Yin just gazing
Oh,
over us. Like Danae
yes.
has that, like in the mountains. It's so beautiful.
I love Kuan Yin. She's a personal favorite.
Yeah. So which ascended masters or archangels do you love working with the most besides Kuan Yin? And why do you like working with Kuan Yin?
Oh, I love Kuan Yin because her story is one of incredible forgiveness and to move through physical pain and move through pain and to come into that divine union and with a partner and then but it was her sacred self. Like I just love her story and working with her energy just feels so incredibly. I usually think of her as like a waterfall of light, and it's just forgiveness and self-forgiveness is the way that I personally experience her, and I just or the energy of Kuan Yin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and
Do you
it's
want
just
to share her story just in case a viewer hasn't been exposed to it yet?
well, I have to be honest. I learned her story from the Sophia Code. Are you familiar with that?
You know what? I did read the book once, but I could
Mhm.
definitely give it a reread. You know what? I have aphantasia. Like so I have an inability to see with my mind's eye.
I don't
And
either.
so
Oh my
oh,
God, I don't
okay.
either.
Yeah, it's a
Amazing.
thing. Yeah, we should talk about our high
Oh my
school
God, that's
experiences.
amazing.
But yeah, like, and that's why, so I think we have issues with visual memory, right? So like, yeah, I read it, but it's like, I don't remember what I read. That's just the truth. If I remember, it's because I'm taking notes or I read it over and over again and I'm obsessed with it. So I only read it once. So literally, I don't remember what I read. And so
Yeah,
I feel bad about that. But the cool thing is when the clair voyance comes in, it's like, oh yeah, that didn't come from me because I can't form pictures.
right. Yes.
That
Oh,
came
I
from my
love
divine
that.
guides. Yeah. But
Yeah.
sorry, I can't contribute to the story. I was gonna, ask you to share so that I could learn the story as well.
If I just was the bullet points was that she was physically violated in a difficult situation where her village was taken over and then she's on an then I'm going to jump ahead. So she's escaped or run away, but now she's on an island and meets this has a person there that eventually coaxes her into being okay and coming into contact with herself and being okay with herself. And there's water involved with this healing process somehow. And
Oh,
it
that's
takes a
cool.
long time. So this is like many, 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 many years of forming this friendship and then ultimately coming into divine union. And the person that she's with, I think it's explained as if they were a twin flame. So they're like her. That's just an aspect
Yeah.
of her. So then the yin and yang, the divine masculine and feminine coming together. That's the story. Those are the bullet points that I remember. But my experience of her is just incredible forgiveness. And another part of her story that I love so much is that my healing journey has taken so long because like I
Oh,
was an
yeah.
abused child and it's like it wasn't until I'm like well into my 40s now that I'm at peace. Like I finally have
Yeah.
inner peace. But my
I'm with you.
God,
Same
it's day in
journey.
and day out. So like there's something beautiful about that like sticking with it. I think that I just
Yeah.
adore.
Yeah. Playing the long game, like
Yes.
just kind of spiraling slowly
Yeah.
back to the lessons and the
Yeah.
issues. And just yeah, slowly evolving. But sometimes there are the big transformative moments too. But yeah, often it's like shedding smaller layers. But it's cumulative. So yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I
And I
totally
love the
relate.
work. I love it. I mean, this is everything. This is life.
I used to play video games. Like I had two brothers, so yeah, I was surrounded by video games, born in 1984. So we had the PlayStation, PlayStation 2, all of that. And so I played RPGs, role-playing games, like Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, and I was obsessed with them. Like not because they involved any kind of skill, but because it was like reading a fantasy book because
Mm.
they shared so many movies and it was such a fully realized world. But these characters were on a journey to get rid of evil, an evil force from the world. And I really identified with the role of the white mage. And I remember thinking, oh, I wish I could just be a white mage. Like, I just really, like, if I could just help the world, I would just like to heal people. Like, if it was the apocalypse,
Hmm.
I would just like to be a white mage and like I'll gather herbs and create potions and I'll just heal people who were wounded in battle. And I just feel like, oh my gosh, like here I am. Like I'm
Yeah.
literally a mage and like one of my childhood wishes was realized.
I love that. I love that. That's beautiful. Something we could chat about is how do you teach people to activate their own personal healing gifts just like you activated yours? So how would you teach people to do that?
Well, right now I'm dropping little tidbits on my Instagram and threads.
Ooh.
I'm playing with that. Like I did do a TikTok collective reading. So little things like that. That was a while back. Um, and right now I'm just kind of dropping written tidbits. But as I talk to people and they're giving me feedback, I realize that some people don't like reading. I think they want to watch on video. And I think there's something transmitted if I record a live audio of my voice, like
Mhm.
speaking the same thing I wrote down for them. And also transmitting through my eyes and my hands as well.
Yeah.
So I might play with that as a way to help people to learn. But yeah, I'm trying to share little things that I learned. Like, so for example, I shared about connecting with your divine guides and grounding and bringing down a waterfall of light from your guides, bringing up Mother Earth energy from the center of the earth through your roots up through your chakras. I bring awareness to different chakras. But yeah, I think like because of what happened to me and how I overcame my issues, I would guide people to go down a general path that I went down if they're similar to me. So basically, let's work on grounding, let's work on getting into your body, let's work on slowing down your breath,
Mm-hmm.
getting you out of fight, flight, freeze, fawn state.
Yeah.
Activate your parasympathetic nervous system, your vagus nerve. You know, like actively schedule rest for yourself and nourishment. Work on the self love
Hmm.
and do some energy healing or it could be from a practitioner, it could be natural energy healing, like just really playing a racket sport that you love and like just you're probably releasing through all that movement or you're dancing wildly but the intention is there to consciously release, right? So as long as the intention's there, it can be natural energy healing, like maybe it's swimming in the ocean if you have the ocean available.
Absolutely.
So embodiment and conscious personal development, to release what is needed.
Yes, yes, yes to all of that. I feel like when we follow our bliss, when we're following doing the things that light us up and bring us joy, that's like a good roadmap as to the direction that it might be advantageous for us to follow. So like following those things. So if you like you said, racquetball, if you're loving the racquetball, that could be like a gateway to healing for you because you're enjoying yourself when you're doing it. And this is a good way to be getting grounded into yourself.
For sure, yeah. And then like it creates these emotions in you, like thrill, awe, joy, bliss, contentment, inner ease, like just it creates these states within that help you to draw more to you, more of the same. If you experience gratitude frequently and you're in love with life and you're in love with yourself, then you're drawing more magic and love and beauty to you. So the more you work on yourself to kind of smooth those edges and release those stagnant energies, like the more opportunity for all the magic to come in.
Yes, please. We're also like in this sort of like time right now where there is a lot of magic up in the collective because it's a lot of change. Like this is an ending year, so stuff is really falling away, and it's like we have to find the things that light us up in order to continue forward. Because if it's not
Magic
working
number
anymore,
9.
yeah, it's out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the number of completion. It's the number of the warrior and the humanitarian. Um, yeah, for those who didn't know, like 2025 reduces to 9 in numerology, so that's big.
Yeah, this is it's a big year. So give us a taste of how you would help somebody. What are your services online that you provide? And maybe you could do a little energy reading for me if you'd like to. And so if people had
Yeah, yeah.
a little idea of
That
what they can get.
that would be cool. Yeah, so for a while I was focusing on online yoga and meditation, and now I'm moving more into pretty much intuitive readings and intuitive energy healing and a mixture of both. And so I connect to your divine guides and we set an intention for the session, whether it's a reading or a healing or both. And then we might need to ground. We might need to get embodied. It just depends on the person's needs. If they're already grounded and embodied, if their parasympathetic nervous system is already activated through evident calm and inner ease, then we don't need to go through all that. We don't need to go through the somatics. But yeah, if they're kind of anxious and all that, they're not in their bodies, we will do those grounding and somatic and mindful meditation activities, slow down the breath. And then we get into the session, and it might be a session where they co create with me. A lot of my energy healer friends, we give and receive to each other. So some of them like to co create with me. You know, I'll get some clairsentient hits about stuck energies in my body that symbolically represent stuck energies in their bodies. And then we release it with divine help. And then I help them to recalibrate by countering the associated negative, harmful belief with an opposite, truthful, helpful belief to kind of just bring them back to restore their divine blueprint, get them closer to that. So that's kind of the gist of it. We bring in different kinds of divine energies depending on their issues. There might be, for example, divine masculine and divine feminine energies coming in through ribbons like gold and silver light to help them
Ooh.
to balance and integrate. It might be a big sphere of rose quartz light coming down from Kuan Yin and enveloping their whole body or their heart space because they need to work on self-love or just giving and receiving love in their personal life or in their public life. So it just depends on the intention. Different things will happen, different divine beings will come in, and it depends on the length of the session. The shorter it is, the less that is done, but it doesn't mean it's less powerful. I mean, the divine works its sacred mystical magic, and whatever happens happens, and it could happen in a second, and then but the thing is with longer sessions, yes, like more is addressed, more releasing, more activating. In a card reading, there's usually at least one or two cards that might create some release or activation in the person.
Yes, definitely. I know when I do sessions, like I have absolutely no idea what's going to come through until we're in there. I just sort of feel like, because I'm a channel, so it's like tune the radio dial to like, okay, here you go, here's what's coming. You just never know. So I do understand the idea of like, sort of like, okay, it's kind of a la carte, and we'll just see what we get when we go in.
Yes, yes. So for your reading, do you have an intention in mind?
Hmm. Let's be real vulnerable. Let's do it. I have a friend so my best friend is in a situation where they're now in a new relationship and dating. And
Mhm.
it sort of just has a little bit, for me, I've been watching myself grieve a little bit because when you have the all-encompassing energy of the best friend and then all of a sudden it is going a little bit towards someone else. So I'm not losing this
Oh,
person. I
no,
think that,
no.
it's just sort of this like, there's a little bit of that like a heart squeezy, like, aw.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm tearing up a bit. Yeah, it tells me that there was a depth, there still is a depth of love there. That's why the grief is there too, right? Because it's a super special, meaningful relationship.
oh, they're a soulmate relationship for sure. And like it's interesting because I'm happy for him. Like the logical mind is super duper happy. And then but there's still I've been watching myself experience this in my body almost as grief.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. That's rough. So, what would your intention be for the reading? Just to explore these energies, or do you want a
The
particular
release
outcome?
to release any cords or tendrils to I just want him to have the most beautiful experience that he possibly could, and just maybe some heart healing around like whatever's going on for me. Like I'm curious about how it's impacting me. Like I'm curious if there's like some past life energy attached to it, maybe, or like what is that? It's interesting. It has a
Right.
quality to it that I'm interested in. Um,
Yes. Okay. Well, do you have a deck in mind? I'm starting with the archetypes deck. I also have some color frequency cards if you want to bring in some color frequencies.
it's
And
totally your
same here,
choice.
geometry activations. Okay, yeah,
Ooh, 100% all your
I
choice.
like to mix decks.
Okay.
So right now, like what is showing up is the archetype of the river. Perhaps you can imagine a river in front of you and you can think about the qualities of a river. What does a river mean to you?
Constant movement, going with the flow, sort of just putting my feet straight forward and course correcting to make sure that I just head straight down the river without bumping into the sides, sort of just being aware but
Yeah.
also relaxed.
Yeah, that's awesome. From that perspective, you could also be on the bank and maybe watching your thoughts and feelings, the
Mm,
transient thoughts and
mm.
feelings just pass you by to drift slowly away, to
Yes,
acknowledge it, feel it, maybe process it in your way, lean into it, even the hard emotions.
yes.
Yeah. And honor yourself in that way. Just let yourself feel it, even the ugliest emotions.
Right, not push it away.
Yeah, and
I noticed in myself, because I'm sober and I noticed myself wanting to almost be like, maybe I'd like a little something as to like not think about this issue or, well,
yeah, we're human.
maybe I'll poke through things and see if I can get a new friend. Like, right? Instead of like, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
Frida, just feel the ding dong feelings already, you know? So I have just been feeling the feelings, but it was curious to me that those were the things that were coming up. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I got the shivers when you said feel the ding dong feeling. So definitely, I hope you do. And if you
Yes.
like expressive arts, you could journal or write stuff on a paper and flush it down the toilet, burn it up. You can dance wildly, you could dance sadly, and play with archetypes,
Mhm.
play different kinds of music, and I don't know, like I think there are many ways to go about it. But do you have a favorite way to feel your emotions, or is that something you're still exploring? Because it is for me, like, because I like you, I like to just not feel the really difficult, like, the really, I would say all emotions are cool, but yeah, there's some emotions like anger and rage where it's like, I don't usually dip into that at this point in my life
Mhm.
because usually I use my, like my kind of higher perspective. Like,
Yeah.
I've had a lot of experience with special needs kids, and you have to have a higher perspective to get through all the interesting behaviors that are manifesting in front of you in a classroom, right?
Yes.
So I'm used to that. I'm used to just spiritually saying, well, they're this, they're that, this is what they're going through. So that's why they were about to throw that chair at me. So it's all good. Just manage it. You're good. You're a
Yeah.
big girl. You're a big girl. Sure, go cry at home. They just insulted your physical appearance, but and they were just racist, but you got this. You're good. So I'm used to kind of, I don't know about bypassing, but it's just like, let's deal with the emotions later. Like right now, you're going to be the professional. And not just
Mhm.
with kids, but with difficult adults too, you know? So it's just, let's feel it. I've got
Yeah.
another card for you. But
Okay, what
yeah,
you got?
did you wanna, okay. So agape, so definitely leaning on unconditional love from your divine guides
Yeah.
to hold you.
Yeah.
And yeah, just knowing that love is in you and you are love and it's in everything and it's it's you. You
Yeah.
are love.
Yeah. To be with this, to ride the emotional wave of it and just be with it, to be with
Love
the
yourself
entire
enough.
experience.
Yeah, love yourself enough to honor yourself, all your parts.
I guess there's like a level, to be honest, Catherine, that I go, I'm more emotionally intelligent than this.
Yeah,
But then I'm like,
yeah.
so like to stop judging myself and
I
just
know, I
the
know.
experience.
We're so judgy towards ourselves because it's like, why? Why should we indulge in the lower selves, the lower emotions? But why not? I think we need it more than anyone.
And I've been open and honest about it the entire time with them. And yeah, I talked to my
That's
husband
awesome.
about it. I mean, it's very open and out there on the table. I'm just curious about it. But yeah, I
Yeah,
appreciate these two cards that you pulled. It's
there's a third,
okay. What you got?
the vessel. And
Hmm.
so, that could have to do with the divine feminine, idea of the cup, the vessel, the
Yeah.
container, to receive. Perhaps it's a time for you to receive, just receive divinity, all the divine energies to support you. Or it could also be a time to fill your cup. Like, can you just focus on that? Just fill your cup completely. Maybe take a bit of a break from giving. Just receive, rest, let people give to you. Like get the bubble bath, let someone give you energy healing for the next week or so,
I
you
appreciate that.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do the things that light you up and maybe just honor your divine feminine aspects, like nurture yourself, be nurtured, not just the rest, but awaken sensuality, like whatever it is, touch velvet, eat that chocolate ice cream sundae with the banana on top,
I love
whatever awakens
it. I
your
love it.
senses, like be sensual, right?
Yes.
Um, yeah, and be a woman, like,
Hmm.
yeah, wear something beautiful, like go smell a flower or whatever it means to you. The divine feminine. What does the divine feminine mean to you? I'm curious.
Ooh, that's what I've been working with through 2024, 2025 so far is the divine feminine. I've been doing a lot of womb healing, honestly, and working with sacred union with myself because I spent a lot of my life, like not most of my life, not trusting the masculine at all because I've always had the distorted masculine in my life. So bringing trusting that divine masculine and then bringing those two together in myself is very recent. It's like within this year. What it means to me is a lot of working with like Mary Magdalene. That's what it feels like is sort of this guttural, sensual. A lot of it for me has been really that Kali Ma energy, that angry.
Yeah, the
I've had a
sacred
lot of that
rage.
sacred rage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and being in your body
very much so.
when you say guttural and yeah, that's amazing.
And really
I
doing that
used
womb to the heart to the throat. So I speak from my womb, but like getting here is
right.
like this is the to be so deeply rooted that it's like coming from there is it's a practice and it's that returning to that. But you can't mess with these women. We as you know, here we come is all I can say. Like get ready.
Yeah, like hear us roar. Usually I don't indulge in those emotions. Again, like coming back to us trying to like be our best selves, like making excuses, like rationalizing that difficult person's behavior and then keeping our peace is what I'm used to.
Yeah, I have a tendency to ride the entire emotional spectrum. I just don't blame it on anybody else, but I'm doing it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's my journey. right now. Just
Hmm.
feel the emotions, no matter how ugly. I picked another card for you from another deck. So this is a deck I got from Toronto, and it's
That's
a Reiki
beautiful.
infused deck. This one, Unifying Consciousness.
Ooh,
This
that's beautiful.
beautiful sacred blue rose. So this is about celebrating, experiencing joy with your chosen family, with your crew, your loved ones. Just dance, celebrate, have fun,
Perfect.
experience mirth.
Yes.
It's
And
just
this
a time
person
to
is my
dance.
chosen family. It's perfect.
Yeah. So, oh, and it, you know what? It has that same platonic
It
solid even
does. It
here.
has the womb healing sacred geometry right there. It's amazing. I love that. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so then, it's a time to focus on your second chakra then. So again, awakening sensuality, experiencing the emotions, um, indulging in playfulness, and finding moments of lightness, levity, and maybe giving birth to creative projects if you're up for it.
Yeah. 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 Thank you. That resonates very much. That's actually my favorite card in the tarot, the Three of Cups.
Oh yeah? Tell me
Yeah.
more. What do you like about it?
It reminds me of Burning Man. I always thought of it as
Have
the
you been?
Burning Man card because it just feels like the Three of Cups is just like to me like friends getting together and having the best time ever and just like joy and play and adventure and enjoying each other's company. And then that's the one that I think of in relation to just unbridled fun.
Yes, and I think for those of us who had that difficult upbringing, the chosen family is especially meaningful for us
Oh
to
yeah.
find safety if you didn't find safety in your family members for whatever reason. We're all going through a lot, right? Um, yeah, it just takes one chosen family or a
Yes.
couple to make
Yeah.
us feel safe.
Yeah, very much so. Catherine, I would love for you to share with us all the places that we can get in touch with you. I'll also have them in the show notes, but why don't you just tell us as well?
Sure, yeah, I'm accessible on Threads and on Instagram and on Facebook.
And
So
tell us
you
your
can
name.
definitely Catherine Vincent on Facebook and on Threads. I'm breathe.move.express. On Instagram, it's the same. Well, that's my personal on Instagram, and then I've got a professional, Phoenix Rising Yoga. But either are fine because I post to both, and they have different audiences that I've picked up over time. So yeah, you could message me. We could have a chat. I love hearing requests. I could always answer your question by just creating and posting content. I often offer free collective readings and free individual readings and affirmations for soul recalibration. And sometimes I offer like free 15-minute healing sessions. I recently offered one for a couple weeks. So yeah, it's a great way to connect with me. And yeah, I'll give you my links for my bio so people can learn more about me and my booking calendar.
Oh, perfect. And we'll have those in the show notes for you. Catherine, this has just been such a pleasure. It was so nice to get to know you better. And
Likewise,
yeah, for everyone, I would love to tell you that I love you. God, Universe, Source loves you. And I hope you have a wonderful day.